Hey everyone, it's your friend, Name of the Creator. And today we're diving deep into a topic that's super relevant for anyone dreaming of exploring the world: visa rejections. It's a total bummer to have your travel plans derailed by a rejected visa application, but trust me, it happens more often than you think. The good news is that many visa rejections are totally avoidable. We're going to break down the top reasons why visas get rejected and, more importantly, what you can do to drastically increase your chances of getting that coveted stamp of approval. By understanding these common pitfalls, you can approach your application with confidence and maximize your chances of turning that travel dream into a reality. So, whether you're a seasoned globetrotter or planning your very first international adventure, stick around because this video is packed with essential tips that could save you a ton of stress, time, and maybe even some tears. Let's get started. All right, let's kick things off with one of the biggest reasons for visa rejections: insufficient funds. Look, visa officers are basically trying to make sure you won't be struggling financially while you're in their country, and that you can actually afford your trip. Think about it from their perspective. They don't want you ending up in a tough spot and needing government assistance. So how do you prove you've got your finances sorted? Well, it all comes down to showing them the money. And I mean that literally. You need to provide solid evidence that you have enough money in your bank account to cover your travel expenses, including flights, accommodation, food, transportation, and any activities you've got planned. A recent bank statement is your best friend here. Make sure it shows a consistent income or a healthy balance that can comfortably support your trip. If you're relying on savings, even better. It shows you're financially responsible and have been planning for this adventure. Now here's a pro tip. Don't just dump a pile of cash into your account right before you apply. Visa officers are smart cookies. They can spot a sudden, unexplained influx of funds from a mile away. It's way more convincing if you can demonstrate a steady financial history over several months. And if someone else is helping you foot the bill for your trip, like a family member or a partner, make sure you disclose that up front. Provide a letter of sponsorship from them, along with their financial documents, to show that they're financially capable and committed to supporting your journey. Remember, transparency is key when it comes to finances. The more organized and upfront you are, the more confident the visa officer will feel about your application. Let's talk about another major factor that weighs heavily on visa decisions: your ties to your home country. Visa officers need to be convinced that you have strong reasons to return home after your trip, rather than overstaying your visa and potentially staying in the country illegally. They're looking for compelling evidence that you have something significant tying you back home, whether it's your job, your family, your property, or even your beloved pet hamster. The stronger these ties, the lower the risk that you'll try to make the visited country your new permanent residence. So, how do you demonstrate these all-important ties? Well, start with your employment situation. If you have a stable job, provide a letter of employment confirming your position, salary, and how long you've been employed. If you're self-employed or run your own business, include documents like business registration papers, tax returns, or anything that proves your business is alive and well back home. Family ties are another powerful indicator. If you have a spouse, children, or dependent parents living in your home country, make sure you mention them in your application and provide supporting documents like marriage certificates or birth certificates. And don't forget about property. Owning a house or land in your home country is a huge plus. It shows that you have a significant financial investment and a physical place waiting for you when you return. But it's not just about the documents, it's about painting a complete picture of your life back home. In your application, talk about your community involvement, your hobbies, your social circles. Anything that demonstrates that you have a rich and fulfilling life waiting for you on the other side of your trip. Remember, you want to convince the visa officer that you're not just visiting their country for a short while. You're returning to a life you've built and cherish. Let's talk about a mistake that can come back to bite you. Overstaying a previous visa. If you've ever overstayed a visa in any country, even for a short period, it can raise major red flags for future visa applications. Visa officers see overstaying as a breach of trust. It suggests that you might not respect the rules and regulations of their immigration system, and it makes them question whether you'll do the same thing again if they grant you another visa. Now, I know what you're thinking, but Graham, it was just a few days over, and it was an honest mistake. And hey, I get it. Life happens, flights get delayed, and sometimes things slip our minds. But unfortunately, immigration systems don't always care about the reasons behind an overstay. A visa overstay is a visa overstay, and it can have serious consequences. The severity of the consequences can vary depending on the country and the length of the overstay. You might face hefty fines, detention, deportation, or even a ban from entering that country again for a certain period. And here's the kicker: an overstay in one country can affect your chances of getting visas for other countries as well. So, what can you do if you have an overstay on your record? Well, honesty is always the best policy. Don't try to hide it or downplay it. When you apply for a new visa, be upfront about the overstay, explain the circumstances surrounding it, and provide any relevant documentation you have. If you have a legitimate reason for the overstay, like a medical emergency or a family crisis, make sure you have supporting documents to back up your claim. The more transparent you are, the better your chances of overcoming this hurdle. And most importantly, learn from your past mistakes. Once you've had a visa, treat it like gold. Keep track of the expiry date, plan your travels accordingly, and if any unforeseen circumstances arise that might affect your departure date, contact the local immigration authorities immediately to explore your options. So there you have it. The top reasons why visas get rejected, and more importantly, how to avoid becoming just another statistic. Remember, a little planning and preparation can go a long way in securing that visa and making your travel dreams a reality. If you found these tips helpful, hit that like button and subscribe to the channel for more travel hacks and advice. And hey, if you've got any visa stories or questions, share them in the comments below. And before you jet off to create that awesome travel content, do me a favor and make sure you've replaced any iStock Getty images or copyrighted music with royalty-free alternatives. Trust me, the last thing you want is a copyright strike cramping your travel vibes. Safe travels, everyone.